All right, happy, what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We made it to Thursday. Yeah, we got Thursday night football, NFL. So that'll be, moderately entertaining. Glad you're with us tonight. We're getting through this week together. So this is the way it is for college football programs, that have to wait until New Year's Day to get to play. I like it. We can stretch it out. We got basketball. We got Texas Tech Lady Raiders, Tech men. We've got NFL, like we said, and all sorts of other things. And Texas Tech players just collecting awards, All American awards, All Big 12, you name it, this, that. You get a trophy, you get a trophy, everybody gets a trophy. Tonight, coming to you from the Hat Creek Interior Studios, where you ain't got to own a ranch to live like you do. Although if you own a ranch, you probably already know what Corey Flanagan is doing there on South Slide Road at 10101 South Slide Road. That's where the showroom is. Go check it out, guys and ladies. And if you're outside the Lubbock area, hatcreek.us, they ship to you. White glove service. Nobody does it better. The best Western style furniture and accessories in America. That's why we're in the Hat Creek Interior Studios. We like to look good here in Raiderland. So tonight, overrated, underrated, rated right, college football playoff teams. The teams in the playoffs that, you think they're not getting their just due. Could be Tech. Teams that are overinflated. What do you got? The ones that are rated right. We also say tonight that as of right now, hey, it's a good day to not be a Michigan man, but it's a great day to be a Red Raider. Texas Tech football is better off right now than Notre Dame and Michigan. Better off than both of those programs today. We'll explain why. Will you eat fruitcake this Christmas? And we've got a Twitter account you've got to follow. James Madison Sports News, JMU Sports News. You guys, we're paying attention. You're doing it right. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. You start your day every day there. We'll give you the morning column, the great Raiderland hot links, the coolest, hottest, freshest links from around Raiderland and beyond. Brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. You still got time to get your orders in for the holiday season from Jackson Brothers. They handle meat processing, but they ship out great meats, cheeses, all sorts of cool stuff. So go there, Jackson Brothers. Also brought to you by Gators Bayou tonight, Lubbock, Texas, 98th and Slide Road. Next time you go in, get in on the Rewards Club. You'll get great discounts and all sorts of cool promotional stuff. It's a great place to take like a business lunch or anything during the day. Happy hours are awesome. And then the games are always on there at Gators, massive TVs. And they put the sound on too. So get some hot Cajun food, get some ice cold drinks, and tell them we said hey, and we sent you from Raiderland. Also brought to you tonight by Ultra Exteriors, inside and out. It's not just exterior. It should be ultra exteriors and interiors and bathrooms and kitchens and living rooms and windows and roofs and everything else. But, my friend Warren, he was like, that's a whole lot of stuff to put out there. So that was a little too much. So it's just ultra exteriors. Check out their website. Tell them we said, hey, this is a great time of year. If you hadn't got your roof fixed, by the way, from the storms back in the summer, they can still get you taken care of. Don't worry about it too much. It's all going to be good, all right? It's all going to be awesome. Thanks to Ultra Exteriors in Lubbock, Texas, USA. All right, you guys get in tonight. Where we're going to go with this one this evening, you guys can start it off. On Thursdays, we do what's called overrated, underrated, rated right. You give us the teams tonight in the college football playoff that you think maybe you're getting a little too much love. You think they're not getting enough love. And I think Texas Tech, for the most part, I think seeded 4. And you watch the shows, you see the discussions. I think they're probably getting their just due at this point. I don't know. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you don't think Texas Tech is getting enough credit for the season they've had and all of that stuff. You tell me tonight. But we look around the other teams in the college football playoff and we go, okay, who's overinflated? Is Ole Miss overinflated right now? Are they overrated? Do we know what we're going to get out of Ole Miss? Yes or no? What about Texas A&M. They've just been kind of A&M, after that Texas game and not a part of the SEC deal. It just all of a sudden disappeared, and then here they are taking on Miami. So you can give us that tonight on the overrated, underrated, rated right. Do you think Texas Tech is overrated, underrated, or rated right? And all of the other teams. And then we can talk about tonight why Texas Tech is better than Michigan and Notre Dame right now when it comes to football. Let's see. 31, 317 Raider. You guys put numbers in your handles, and I'm like, I can't hardly read it. Overrated Miami. We have reached a point now in the arc of Miami football and athletics that I used to root for them. I'm old enough, and I don't know how old you are, 317 Raider. I rooted for them when they were coming up under Howard Schnellenberger in the early 80s. I rooted for them against Nebraska. Rooted for them in the 80s. Rooted for them against Penn State. And then they became kind of ubiquitous and then didn't like the U. And now I've come back around to kind of liking them because, and I didn't realize this in the 80s and stuff, how it's a small little school. It's just a little small private school there in Coral Gables. We went out there and I called NCAA baseball action, Texas Tech at the Coral Gables Regional in 1998. And I was underwhelmed by just how little they had. And their baseball stadium was nothing and everything else. So I've kind of got this thing still. Now we've come back all the way around full circle on Miami. I kind of root for them a little bit. More so than Notre Dame, right? Underrated us. Rated right, the Ohio State University. I mean, obviously a top 4 team in my opinion. We could have made an argument that the Big Ten championship game, winner goes 1, loser should have gone to 4. And here's why. Because Georgia and Texas Tech both won their conferences and won their conference championship game. That I have no doubt in my mind that had Indiana lost that, and that was really why I kept saying that Tech would go to 3, that I really thought Ohio State was going to beat Indiana. But if Indiana had lost that game, I think they would have gone to 4. Overrated, Jeff gets in on YouTube tonight. Georgia, A&M, and Bama. All right, tell me, see, I think Georgia, I'm sorry, Georgia, you go through the SEC, you win, you slay the mental dragon that is Alabama. And it was a mental hurdle for Georgia, not a physical hurdle over the last several years. No, I'm the SEC champion. I'm not going to say you're overrated. A&M, Bama, yeah, we're 100%. Let's see, 317 Raider on 54. I remember their rise and how they killed us twice in Spike's early years. Yes, they did. I did not get to go to the game out there at the Orange Bowl. I did cover the game in 1990, and that was back as a young member of the media. You could get it was so easy back in the late 80s, early 90s, and the 90s to, if you were credentialed media, to get a field pass, to go down on the field. You didn't have to be a photographer or anything. You just walked around. You had a media pass. I got a media pass. I'm good. And I sat there in the south end zone, standing on the back end line of the south end zone. In Texas Tech with Robert Hall at quarterback, it was backed up to like the 2-yard line. I'm nearly in the damn huddle. And the looks on the faces of the offensive linemen in the huddle as they were going to the line against that Miami team, I'm like, this is not going to be a good day. And it wasn't. And the final score was like something like 40-7 or 40-10 or something like that. It wasn't even that close. Good Lord. Men against boys that year in 1990. Now that 89 team might have had they wouldn't have beat them, but they would have had a much better game against them. And also that game wasn't sold out at Jones Stadium either, which blows my mind that we go back. Well, it's been a long time now. But Miami comes to town, not sold out. Nebraska, 1994, Thursday night, not sold out. You Texas Tech fans have come a long way. Tip of the hat to you. Let's see, off of YouTube. YouTube is strong tonight. Where's my Facebook people? Where are my Twitter people? Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Facebook Live, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. But YouTube has been coming on strong lately, and I love it. It's fantastic, and I appreciate it. Hit thumbs up, hit like, hit subscribe, and share it with friends. Ole Miss overrated. If Ole Miss, I'm with you from the standpoint of I think all the changes and everything else, they can't be the team they were at the end of the season. So if they were that team, if Lane Kiffin is still there, would we say they're overrated? No, I think we'd say they're probably rated right. Nobody even going down the road right now of Oregon. The team you're matched up with, if they can get by James Madison, we do that. Notre Dame is a top 10 team. Apparently they're not. And apparently they have to beg and get special rules with the memorandum of understanding that is actually killing them right now around the country, where conferences like Brett Yormark and the Big 12 and others, including probably the ACC, going forward saying, yeah, that's fine. I think Notre Dame is about to get froze out. I think the conferences have realized that Notre Dame doesn't bring what Notre Dame thinks they bring. Yet somehow they've been able to finagle their way into the college football playoff with special memorandums of understanding. I think this is backfiring completely on Notre Dame. I think Bavacqua is an idiot for an athletic director. And right now, today, Texas Tech is better than Notre Dame in football, positioned better in the Big 12 going forward, has a better structure of recruiting. That's why Notre Dame tried to money whip James Blanchard from Texas Tech as the general manager and couldn't get him. Notre Dame failed to get let that sink in. Notre Dame failed to get Texas Tech's director of recruiting and cap management and general manager in Blanchard. And then meanwhile, Michigan, the Harbaugh boys, Michigan, what are we doing up there? And they were so desperate. The people at Michigan, the people that run Michigan athletics and the university, knew what was going on with Sharon Moore, knew what was happening, and they waited to drop the bomb and pull the trigger on him and get him out of there until after they had locked up their recruiting class. Notre Dame has top recruiting. Yeah, let's see how it keeps up. You're obviously not getting much out of it if you are a Notre Dame fan. But keep up with it. But let's see where Notre Dame is in a year or two when schools start tearing up those agreements with them and not playing them. Notre Dame has overplayed their hand, 100%. NBC, bless their hearts, just happy to get a 4.4 rating. Now, most of the ratings for Notre Dame football are in the mid to upper threes. Most of that is who they play. If you take that away, Notre Dame brings nothing to the table from a TV rating standpoint. In fact, Notre Dame benefits from a TV rating standpoint of they only have 6 games that they really get rated on. So a conference like the Big 12 has scads of games. If you take the Big 12 top games, Texas Tech, BYU, Utah, things like that, the ratings for the top Big 12 teams, if you were comparing it to Notre Dame, and we only had to do 6 versus 6, Big 12, Notre Dame, basically the same. Big 12 beats them out a couple of times. Notre Dame beats them out a couple of times. So for the Notre Dame people that think they bring all this stuff to the deal, they're bringing nothing really. Nothing that the Big 12 ain't bringing on a more consistent and volume basis. So there we are. Texas Tech right now today got the money, got as much money as Notre Dame, got as much money as Michigan can bring to bear. is in a solid conference standing. It's sustainable. You don't have the problems that Michigan has, and now Notre Dame is creating their own problems. And here we are. Texas Tech in the college football playoff with a bye, Notre Dame out, and Michigan just looking like a grease fire. Welcome to 2020-25. The Notre Dame Crying Irish cry like a champion today. Joey. Oh, no, it's Joey. Something for Joey. Great movie. Anybody remember that growing up? Something for Joey? It's a Penn State deal. We don't want to talk about Jerry Sandusky, do we? By the way, welcome on into the Hat Creek Interior Studios tonight. We are hanging out here with you on the United Supermarkets chat line. United Supermarkets, the grocery store chain that supports Texas Tech, puts their names on things in Lubbock and West Texas, as opposed to the other one in town that takes your money and puts your money with their name on things in Austin. Getters Bayou, Ultra Exteriors, you get the idea. Doing some home renovations this winter. Yeah, they can make it happen for you. Over, underrated, right? College football playoff teams. Texas Tech better than Michigan and Notre Dame right now. And they really are. Will you eat fruitcake this Christmas? Will you? Would you? Would you eat fruitcake? I will. I like fruitcake. It's good. Meanwhile, I got to go back. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I do this sometimes. I was at Tech, says a JC double T, but still a U fan then. My brother-in-law came in and we moved way up top so I didn't get in trouble. Ole Miss, not overrated. Kiffin doesn't recruit. He portals close to Tech level. I have no idea exactly what all of that means other than you're going to Tech and you're rooting against Tech, and that's really weird. But good for you. And I'm glad you weren't physically assaulted or made to feel like you were in, some sort of Salvadoran prison. Jeff, which portal quarterback would you take? Craig from Harvard or Sorsby from Cincy? So the Harvard quarterback, are they out of the 1AA playoffs? Did they get beat? I can't remember what they're doing. Sorsby from Cincy. Might take both because you can. I mean, my thing with Texas Tech quarterback in the portal, you got to get at least one, probably two. You don't know what Hammond is going to be like coming back from the injury, so you can't count on it. Anything that he does next year is, to me, just an absolute bonus. But I think you've got to go into the portal season at Texas Tech thinking your starting quarterback next year is not on your roster this year. That's, and we'll get to that harsh reality, the harsh reality of the portal and the roster, and you got to replace a lot of the defense. We got plenty of time to get to that as we go through. The best thing you got going for you right now, Texas Tech, you can afford to go do it. You can afford to replace it. We talk about, is this sustainable? Yes. The dollar figures being spent by Texas Tech, NIL, 100% sustainable. They can do what they've done. Other schools, other programs like Utah trying to catch up. And we can get into the PE discussion, which is really fascinating to me from an individual school standpoint. It had been more talked about on a conference level standpoint, which I think for the most part, the Big Ten blew that up. USC and was it Ohio State, the other one? I think it was USC and Ohio State mainly. That they are not willing to trade off in an agreement of rights with the conference any sort of PE, basically clawing into their own athletic departments that way. What's going on in Utah is really fascinating to me, that we have now a singular school, a public institution, state, privatizing a portion of the state. And I think this is going to go into the courts. I think other states are going to look at what's going on in Utah and say, can we really do this? Can we take a state institution and carve out private equity within that? And I don't know that you can without voter approval. And I don't even know if you could do it with voter approval. Meanwhile, quarterback, you got to get at least 2 in the portal. So what do you want your quarterback to look like? Do you want it to look like Will Hammond? Do you want it to look like Baron Morton? What do you want your quarterback to look like under Mac Leftwich going into next year? You get your running backs back, and it looks like Joyner is going to be back, at least for right now. And by the way, I think it was the Associated Press that had Cameron Dickey on the first team All Southwest Conference. Yeah, penalty, drink. Big 12. Glad he got some respect. Should be. So yeah, you need 2 quarterbacks in the portal, and you go from there. All right, you guys jump in. Get on the United Supermarkets chat line. Overrated, underrated, rated right. College football playoff teams. Who's overrated? Who's rated right? Who's underrated? Anybody following JMU sports updates or sports news on Twitter? They're great. They're awesome. They're fantastic. I love everything that's taking place there. And will you eat fruitcake this Christmas? Yes. Yes, I will. Sorry, I just got a text from a dear old friend of mine in the media. Have you released it publicly? I got to ask that question. All right. So Jeff on YouTube, by the way, where are my Facebook people tonight? Did we not get Facebook on? Did Facebook get nuked tonight? It's weird. I want a quarterback to look like Billy Joe Tolliver, but with a brain. Billy Joe Tolliver, smart guy. He was crazy smart, kind of like Spike Dykes. He truly was. Anybody who thinks Billy Joe Tolliver wasn't smart. The problem with Billy Joe Tolliver is he never met a pass he didn't think he couldn't complete. I mean, if he could, I sit there. Okay, so the old bubble there on the south end of the Jones Stadium, ATC, the bubble and everything, had a basketball court in there. So my freshman year, I'm in there, and Tolliver's in there, and they had the court set up, and they were working out. Football was working out that day because the weather was bad, and they were just, kind of throwing around and doing a little stuff. And Tolliver stands on the baseline of that basketball court in the ATC, and he throws it into the basket at the other end. This wasn't a dude perfect deal. This wasn't a tricked up thing. He throws it into the basket. God dang, Billy. Then he came back, and he's also the guy who introduced me to a guy named Brett Favre. David Collier, KMAC 28 sports director. Glad I could help. Is this in relation to the text you just sent me at 6:33 that I'm not going to read? But I assume it might be. And for those who don't know, Dave Collier, KMAC 28 sports director, and Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche Journal are the 2 local media members in West Texas who have Heisman Trophy votes. Collier now for, 35 years, and Don Williams started voting in the 1950s. He actually voted for Paul Hornung over Johnny Majors. God, what a jackass Don Williams was there on that vote. Both of them vote their conscience. They vote very well. And I think you only get like top 3 when you vote. Texas Tech underrated. The media should be using BYU as the comp for Big 12. Compare BYU to Notre Dame, A&M, Bama, because that would mean Tech is that much better. I agree, but that's why they didn't do it. That's why the College Football Playoff Committee didn't want to have that BYU logo and the BYU metrics next to Notre Dame, Bama, and A&M when they're having all those discussions, because then people would be saying, why are we talking about those 3 schools when we should be talking about BYU getting in based on strength of schedule? based on other metrics. You know? Can we talk, Cody? Can we talk, discuss conference revocation for Utah? They're Aggie with greater self delusions, which I thought was impossible. I want them to stay. I want them to sell their soul to the private equity world. I want them to keep being there. All right? Come on. Because without the Aggies, it's the best we can do right now, isn't it? You got to have Utah in there. Chris jumps in. Who knew the father of the Constitution had such a sense of humor? Talking about JMU Sports on Twitter, they are hilarious. It is, and it's not even trolling, it's just hilarious stuff. And they're not going after Oregon. And the Oregon fans now have figured out what they're doing. And a lot of it's fun. All of it's fun. I mean, they won today, and I'm just going to paraphrase. So they had a video clip of Oregon touchdown play, but it was in slow motion. And the JMU Sports News handle, like, are you kidding me? These people look like the slowest people we have played all year. Another one, they said, hey, this Texas Tech defense, 100% legit, probably the best in the country. We probably need to rest our starters as much as we can against Oregon to get ready for Texas Tech. A series of tweets over the last couple of days since I became aware of it. It's everything that a Twitter account should aspire to be. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's got that nod and the wink to the audience, and everybody gets it. It's really good. Breaking news here. David Collier, KMAC 28 Sports Director, Cam Dickey, Heisman Trophy vote. Right? Maybe? I don't know. JC found old Texas High School Coaches Association All-Star Game program from 82. Never realized Hastings played for Winder at Monahans. Yeah, Brad Hastings, Texas Tech linebacker, number 44. And then Dick Winder, who would be the head coach at Abilene. Was it Cooper or Abilene? Abilene. He comes to Texas Tech as the offensive coordinator with Spike Dykes in 1987. Have no AB vote to. Slacker. How many votes do you need? Truly. How many things does one need to vote on? Don's on the AP poll. He's on the. I don't think he gets to vote for the AP All-American type stuff. I think that's a different group of selectors. I was on one poll for a while in college baseball. For 2 years, I was a member of the National Baseball Writers of America Association, or whatever that thing was. And then they realized, hold on, this guy lives in Lubbock, Texas, and he doesn't cover the Rangers on a daily. No, Baseball Writers Association of America, yeah. I mean, like the Hall of Fame type people deal. I was like some sort of junior adjunct member in 1994 and 95, and then they're like, oh, crap, no, you can't do this. I wish I'd kept the little card they gave me. I always wanted to use that if I got pulled over or something. Sir, I'm a member of the Baseball Writers Association of America. I think you're going to need to back away. I'm on a very important mission right now. I know Tim Kirkjane personally. He's interviewed me. That's true, by the way. I got interviewed by Tim Kirkjane, 1994, 93, 94. You got about 2 minutes to go on this one tonight. Big Friday show coming up. Big basketball game for Texas Tech and Arkansas coming up on Saturday. The next 9 days, 8 days, Texas Tech basketball could really write their ticket to a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament if they can just play halfway decent in the Big 12. And I think they will. 2 of the biggest games of the season, the next 2 Saturdays, with Arkansas. And then Duke, I guess, is still good. We're looking into it. We're going to do a deep dive, find out if Duke is still good. By the way, Fruitcake's great. Collins Street Bakery. That's the best you can get over-the-counter fruitcake. If you can find an old West Texas woman who's making real fruitcake, all right, getting that brandy in there, get it all nice and soft up, then you heat that up fresh with butter on it. I am telling you, people, you don't understand the greatness of fruitcake. It is incredible. It is beautiful. Yeah. The negativity against fruitcake in this America blows me away today. Americans were founded on fruitcake. In the Revolutionary War, kept us alive at Valley Forge. 1812, same thing down there in Louisiana. World War I, the trenches outside of Versailles, Ypres, and other places. The Somme, they were fighting for fruitcake. The days after Normandy and the hedgehogs, southern France, Belgium during the winter months, crossing over the Rhine. Fruitcake. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. All right, a couple more comments before we get out of here. Jeff, Army Navy this weekend, watch party at my local American Legion post. That is exceptionally cool. I hope all the beers are either canned or in a mason jar. Rock on. Any more now? I default Army. I've got more family members now, Army side than Navy, even though it really gets dicey. So I kind of now say I'm sort of like the president. I sit on one side for the first half, one side for the second, but it really comes down to me who's got the better uniforms. And I had seen an early release, I want to say for Army. I don't think I've seen what Air Force is wearing. And it may come down to who's wearing the better uniform. So maybe we'll do a vote on that tomorrow night on the program and do a prediction Friday on Army Navy. You know who wins that game? America freaking wins that game. Cody, I assume that Duke has someone other than Boozer, but he's the only name I've ever seen on the ticker. He's got to be 45 years old. Collier, Fighting for Fruitcake was your garage band name, wasn't it? Yeah, Fighting for Fruitcake. Yeah, the Fruitcake Fighters, not to be confused with Foo Fighters, but Fruitcake Fighters. Very good stuff. Y'all are the best audience out there. I'm serious. At JMU Sports News, followed on Twitter. Tell them when you follow them tonight. As Red Raider fans, one, we hope we get to meet you in Miami. Two, tell them they're doing it right. It's so cool. It's fun. I feel like I got cheated out of something not knowing about this Twitter account all during the football season. So we're going to keep following them. And then just share this, invite some people in. You can do the power of five every night. 5 people who like what we do. Go to our sponsors for the evening and hit them on social media like Facebook for Hat Creek Interiors in Lubbock, Gators Bayou 98th and Slide Road, Ultra Exteriors. They're not on Facebook, but they've got a great website, and they can handle all of your exterior and interior renovations and whatnot that you need to do here in West Texas. And of course, United Supermarkets. If 5 people just take 5 seconds, it didn't take anything. You guys know how to do that. Get on Facebook, go to our sponsors each night and just say, hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Next time I need something you're selling, I'm buying. But just tell them thanks because, and I'm going to say this again, not just for my program, but for any media that you consume out there that you enjoy. And if they have sponsors, please tell them thank you. You know? Tell them thank you. It means a lot. Fighting for Fruitcake sounds like the competitor of Grindel. I got something, I got nothing, but it sounds like it's one of them weird books where everybody kills each other over a piece of ham. And then finally, Dan gets in the Collins Street Bakery Fruitcake, the only type that's actually edible, and you can get it at your local United Supermarkets or Market Street in Lubbock, Texas. Yes, they've got Collins Street since the late 1800s. It's not the only type that's edible. And it's really good, I think, over the counter. OTCFC, the OTCFC. But man, I'm serious. If you've never had homemade fruitcake, you don't know what you're missing. Find somebody that'll make it for you. It's life changing. And it's got to be, you got to heat it up and put a little butter on it. So good. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow on a Big Friday show. We're back with you in the morning on the website, theraiderland.com. We will ask you the most Texan thing that you have done this week. We'll see everybody in the morning. Share this, put it out there, thank our sponsors, and we thank you for being a part of everything we do at theraiderland.com.